Hey everyone, welcome to day 16 of the 30-day Body, Mind, and Spirit Challenge. I'm Peter Schenk of www.moderndaymystic.com. And today I want to talk about the spirit. I want to talk about the higher octaves and what they are. So in my belief system, everything is made up of energy, and that energy is all interconnected, and it's all spawned from the Godhead, or what we call Source, the universe, whatever you want to call it. And from that, there are rings outside of Source, energetic rings. The further you go outside of Source, the lower you vibrate. The closer you are to Source, the higher you vibrate. Everything in existence vibrates. And with that said, there's a number of different names for the higher vibrational realms. They're called frequencies. They're called, the higher octaves. They're called many, many different things. But today, the spirit always vibrates at the highest octave, but the physical body takes a little time to get there. So, how do you get your spirit and body to vibrate at these ultra levels? Well, the spirit's already there, but the body takes a little time to get there. And, the body and the mind are always connected to the spirit. And by doing simple acts of kindness, okay, you can raise your vibration of your body, your mind, to match that of the spirit. And what are simple acts of kindness? They're not complicated. You're driving to work and someone's trying to get out in traffic. Well, you stop and you let them out. It takes you 5 seconds. You've let them out. Whether they wave or not, it's not the point. And, that's positive karma that comes back to you 1,000-fold by doing little acts of kindness. Get out in the world, help your neighbors, say hello, smile to people. It all starts with baby steps, but each day as you do this, you will start to vibrate higher. Everyone always complains, if you're into the New Age movement, the Love and Light, and all these other names they have for it, that they want to reach the higher octaves, but they never take the first step, and those are always acts of kindness. Act of kindness vibrates and perpetuates out through the world and comes back to you 1,000-fold. Other little simple things, like when you go to bed at night, have a positive thought. When you get up in the morning, have a positive thought. You create your reality as you move through it. Your reality that you're creating mimics your state of mind. Okay? If you have that positive thought when you get up in the morning, and you're happy and you're in a good place, people vibrate towards that. They are drawn to it on a subconscious level. They just want to be around you. Your environment will mimic exactly what you put out. Acts of kindness, help your neighbor, put a charitable event together, do something, donate your time. These are all simple acts. And each octave that you move through, you're given a little bit of information. And what you do with that information really determines whether you move to the next octave or not. So it all starts with a simple act of kindness, a positive thought, saying hello, smiling to people, having positive thoughts. We've all got people we don't want to be around, but instead of the back of your head thinking, what a blankety blank, choose to look at the positive and the negative. And I know it's hard sometimes, but when you do that, you're still moving towards the higher octaves, the body and the mind. You're prepping it, you're facilitating it, and you're moving. Give it a try. Day 16 of the 30-day Body, Mind, and Spirit Challenge. Thank you.
And good morning, Reno Soriano here, the Conscious Health Alchemist, day 16 on your 30-day Holistic Health Challenge. So yesterday I started upping the energy and kind of challenging you to really step into this, because I know what happens to some people when they go on these life-transforming things. Your stuff comes up. So I'm going to press you today again and say that if you need help, you need to ask for help. Because I know what this journey's like, and it will drive you to the edge of insanity sometimes. I've been through it, and in those moments is when the magic and the nectar is, because it's in those moments of where you feel like, oh my God, how can I get through this? That's the second that miracles are waiting to happen. But you need sometimes the right push or guidance. And so I'm going to invite you to reach out to me if you have stuff coming up. If you have resistance coming up, you have, I don't know, feelings, emotions from your past coming up, now is the time to get to the core of those things. And so I will make my services available to you, and you can reach me at renosoriano.com. Reach out and we can do a short call or session. I can do video chat with you, but ask for help, because I've met many people and they don't ask for help and they continue to suffer and they continue to sit in their stuff. Stop it. Ask for help. It's okay. You need help sometimes. Even sometimes when I go through some stuff, and I'm usually pretty good at taking care of myself, but every once in a while I reach out. Just to have one person to mirror back to me, hey, it's cool, it's fine, all right? So this is life, yeah, it's gonna press you, it's gonna bring you to the edge of insanity sometimes, and that's the most juicy part, because that's when you're ready to let go of your habits and patterns that are trying to hold you back. And these things are very powerful forces, okay? They're gonna try to hold you back, so you need to reach out for help when you're going through this stuff, and it's okay. So reach out, and if or maybe you have a specific condition that you're dealing with, that and it's unique unto you, that you just need some guidance. I'm willing to help you and support you through that, okay? But reach out. Stop trying to think you're going to do it by yourself. Stop thinking you're going to be able to meditate your way through it. You're not. You need support. You need help, and it's okay to ask for help. But all I know is that you're a very mighty, powerful being. You got to step into that power. But these habits and patterns and stuff from your childhood, they're not going to want you to change. And this is where I see a lot of people. They get to the edge of the cliff, and they're ready to jump to be free. And these things because it's comfort, it's known. Your brain neurotransmitters have worn these patterns and habits for decades, and you're stuck, and that's what it's going to feel like. You get to the edge and it's like you're ready to feel free, and up, and then you get the cord pulled on you, and that's the moment you need to leap and take a leap of faith. And it's going to be scary. Fear is never going to go away. It's always going to be there until you take your power and you step through them, and that's when the magic happens. And I've seen it with a lot of people, especially when I teach people how to lose weight. People have been overweight for 30, 50 years, and all of a sudden I'm giving them something very powerful that actually gets results at last, and they're kind of like, I can feel it in their frequency. Like, part of them is excited, and then there's another part that's going, oh my God, this is actually my path to freedom. I can be fit, healthy, and radiant, and I can feel the resistance just in coaching them. So you got to watch. So ask for help. I'm here to support you, but you got to make the decision that you're going to get through this. It's a commitment that you make to yourself, but it's bigger than you. Like I said yesterday, your health and how you conduct yourself, how you walk out in life, what kind of vibe you're putting out, impacts everybody, okay? The secret is, when you walk into a room, you're changing the molecules and atoms in that room, and you're impacting everyone. So how are you showing up? Because I know when I show up my full glory, and I can tell the way people are turning heads, okay? So how are you showing up? Because that's why I'm here to teach a new paradigm for human health. You impact your level of health, how you show up energy impacts everybody in the room at the atomic and molecular level, which you don't have to say a word, okay? If you really want to help this planet, walk into a room fit, healthy, and radiant, and watch what happens to people every room you walk into. You can change this planet by just being aligned with who you truly are, blinged out, fit, healthy, and radiant, being happy. You can change thousands of people's lives without saying a word. How cool is that? So my perspective is totally different than most people with health. I'm here to say you are a fulcrum, you are a catalyst for other people's transformation as you show up. If you can be in that high frequency state, fit, healthy, and radiant, and you're blinged out, oh my God, how many people are you going to impact? So my deal is step up to the plate, ask for help. I'm here to support you. Let's get to the core stuff. I'm intuitive. I'll get to the core stuff within a few minutes. You got to be willing to go there. So what are you going to do with this information? I'm Reno Soriano. I'm the Conscious Health Alchemist, and let's get you rolling, baby. It's time to start revving up the energy, and the results are going to come. You just got to do your part. Remember, healthy body, happy soul. See you soon.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk about a master mineral, magnesium. It's estimated that 80% of the population is deficient in this mineral, and it has so many repercussions when we get deficient in the body. I'm going to look at this paper because there are so many, I don't want to miss a single one, and tell you just by supplementing either through the skin transdermally or a drink or just a tablet. This may alleviate a lot of symptoms. So ask yourself this: do you have anxiety, calcium deficiency? Sometimes you feel confused, difficult swallowing, dizziness, fatigue, high blood pressure, joint aches and pains, muscle cramps, nausea, poor heart health, poor memory, respiratory issues, tremors, weakness. All of these, the precursor to all of these could be a magnesium deficiency. Now, in our food system today, even if we buy good organic food, it still is not up to par with the minerals that it needs to have because our soil is so depleted. So it does pay to supplement, and minerals, I think pretty much all of us are insufficient in minerals and vitamins. It's very hard to be perfect on all levels and have 100% of everything that we need, and that's why supplements are so valuable. So high stress, carbonated drinks, simple carbs, cakes, cookie crackers, these things can deplete your magnesium. It can affect if you get good quality sleep. It can alleviate menstrual cramps. There are so many benefits to this one mineral, and it's responsible for over 300 catalysts in the body. It regulates, let's see, I think it's sodium, calcium. It regulates sodium, calcium, and potassium. So it's kind of even more important than those major minerals. So just supplementing with that may alleviate so many symptoms you're having. Again, we're made of vitamins, we're made of minerals, and all kinds of elements, but this magnesium is a critical one because most of us are deficient. So your challenge is, if you have any of those symptoms, look into it. A friend of mine who made this awesome brochure, her name is Sybil Watts here in Louisville, Kentucky, and she sells a high-frequency magnesium oil that I use, and I've noticed a huge difference in my level of calmness, almost a self-assuredness, able to focus better, sleep better. There's so many great side effects to supplementing with magnesium, and honestly, getting it through the skin is the best way. I'm going to post a link below, and you can get a hold of her, look on her website, and get the details on this wonderful mineral and how it can help you have a higher state of health. Thanks again for joining. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Hi guys, we're back. Day 16, Body, Mind, Spirit Challenge. My name is Jim Standish, and I am one of your co-hosts. So today we're going to revisit something that we talked about quite a few days ago, and that is, who am I and what am I doing here? And we're going to look at the Destiny card system, and it is a system that I have been using for many, many years, and it is a fantastic tool for self-discovery. Now remember, transformation is an inside job. It's something that you have to do by working on yourself and transforming yourself into that person that you would most like to be and have the experiences that you would most like to have while you're here on planet Earth. And the Destiny card system will help us look at potential strengths and weaknesses that we may have incarnated with. So things that we brought with us. And I like to look at, absolutely like to look at potential strengths. I mean, I like to look at innate tools that you may have, that you have been gifted with. And let's look at whether you're actually using them or not. You know, a lot of times I think people get stuck in dead-end jobs or something, and they're maybe not fulfilling their true purpose. And sometimes it's fun to look and see some of the gifts that we came in with innately, and if it means utilizing those gifts so that you can experience a fuller, better life, then certainly it's worth taking a peek at. So in your little notebook, I want you to write down my birth map. Now, your birth map could be described as the moment you were born, the moment you came in, and we talked about this, and you got the slap on the button, right? and and the spirit part of you entered the physical part of you. If we took a camera and we looked up into the sky and we took a snapshot of all the heavenly bodies and where they were at that exact moment in time, at that exact geographical location, that would become your birth map. Now, your birth map is has to do with energies that are emitted by planetary bodies. The simplest way to think about this is, let's look at the moon, right? And look at a full moon versus other phases of the moon. And if you know anybody that is in the healthcare business, if they work in an ER or they work like in a nursing home or something where they see the public on a regular basis, ask them, if you don't believe it yourself, and I'm sure you do, but just ask them, if things get a little weirder during a full moon, okay? And I think they'll say, yeah, people like freak out on a full moon. And all it is an amplified amount of moon particles. And I want you to think about this, that everything emits energy. Everything. We emit energy. That's, this whole process, this whole 30-day process, we are trying to raise our vibration. We're trying to raise our energy, right? So that we emit a higher vibration. So every planetary body has its own vibration and it emits energy. And I want you to think of it as particles, in the form of particles. So just conceptualize moon, full moon, more particles, more moon influence on the peoples. And I think it's pretty easy to demonstrate. Just ask somebody, right? Well, we're going to look at other planets also, because other planets, much larger bodies, even than planet Earth. And we know that planet Earth is much larger than the moon, and there are planetary bodies in our solar system that are way bigger than planet Earth that emit a lot of energy and a lot of particles that influence the peoples. So for your homework, I want you to look up your birth date, and we're going to have to look at the day, the time, and the place. And we're gonna move into this and do a little bit of research, and I want you to find out the day, the time, and the place. And a lot of people sometimes have a hard time finding the time. The time is only important if you're cuspy. And we are going to talk a little bit about the zodiac and different houses, and we're going to get a little bit of astrology, not crazy, just a little bit, just to realize that this does affect you. The time is important if you're shifting from one sign into another sign, and there's, second by second by second by second, the influence of those planetary bodies does change. So sometimes, and I'm gonna give you free resources where you can look this stuff up, but you need the data to enter first. So homework for today, day 16, right? Day 16. Find out the day, the time, and the place you were born, and we will see you tomorrow, day 17. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.
Hi, I'm Dr. Howard. In the last session of my Protect Your Brain series, I told you the first reason why, for most people, meals should not include excess protein. Essentially, it forces the body to make more insulin than necessary, temporarily putting the body out of homeostatic balance, which is quite stressful, especially for the kidneys and brain. Excess protein is defined as more protein than is required for repair and maintenance functions. If yesterday's talk didn't convince you, I'll give you 4 more reasons not to ingest excess protein. First, if a person has a carb limit, a high protein-carb balanced meal is an oxymoron. It should be obvious that having a carb limit and ingesting a lot of protein is incompatible in the context of preparing meals with protein-carb balance. High protein would trigger the release of a huge amount of insulin that would then require a gigantic amount of carbs to balance it. As mentioned before, 1 ounce of meat needs 5.5 ounces of white potato to provide protein-carb balance. So eating a 3-ounce hamburger would require eating over a pound of potatoes with 95 grams of carbs. Or eating 6 bananas, each about 7 inches long, and providing about 79 grams of total carbs. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, and fruit are about the lowest carb-dense foods that can be used for this purpose to achieve this type of balance. And fruit has way too much fructose for most people to safely use it this way, as it would raise uric acid levels, which is another stress. Second, high-protein diets stress the liver and the kidneys. Protein that can't be used immediately can't be stored and therefore must be burned for energy in order to dispose of it. Unfortunately, burning protein stresses the body, in general because it produces a lot of acid waste, adding to the stress on the liver and kidneys, as reflected in a lowering of the urine pH. Chronically low urine pH is considered to be a very unhealthy sign. The word protein is being loosely used to refer to all chemical compounds containing nitrogen molecules. Technically, these are mainly amino acids, actual proteins, and nucleic acids, RNA and DNA. These organic acids can be thought of as carbon chains that have been decorated with nitrogen molecules. All foods provide carbon, which is an integral part of their cellular structure. So to burn protein, first the nitrogen needs to be removed so that the remaining carbon chain can be burned as a carb. The process of separating the nitrogen from the carbon chain is called deamination. Meanwhile, leftover nitrogen waste needs to be removed from the body, so the waste from the amino acids are first converted to ammonia and then to urea in preparation for disposal, and the waste from the nucleic acids is first converted to uric acid. I'm sorry for all of this technical stuff, but there are 2 different disposal paths that are stressful in different ways. I'll keep it as simple as I can. Ammonia is converted to urea, which is sent to the kidneys from where it's excreted. This brings us to the third reason for not eating high-protein meals. They must absolutely be avoided by people with a history of gout, and this means all excess protein, because their bodies have trouble processing uric acid. Uric acid is very bad for gout sufferers because it can form sharp-pointed crystals in their bodies. And these uric acid crystals, along with the pain that their sharp points cause, are the defining characteristic of gout. Disposing of the uric acid, which is a byproduct of excess protein disposal, requires additional acid waste that needs to be processed by the kidneys. In fact, disposing of excess protein can create so much acid waste that there may not be enough extra potassium available to do the job of neutralizing it, and calcium has to be pulled out of a person's bones to finish neutralizing the acid in order to prevent it from literally burning the kidneys. This leads us to the fourth reason. If protein is chronically pulled out of a person's bones to neutralize the acid waste that are byproducts from burning protein, is it really a surprise that osteoporosis eventually knocks at the door? A number of years ago, Italian medical doctors provided osteoporotic women with therapeutic levels of potassium supplementation and found that the women's bone loss not only stopped, but their osteoporotic bones reabsorbed the lost calcium and returned to a normal state of bone health without the need for medication. The women in these studies were pre-screened and selected because their kidneys were still healthy enough for high-dosage potassium supplements to be utilized safely under clinical supervision. So now that we know that eating high-protein meals is not usually a good idea, the question is, how much protein do you really need? And this will be the topic of tomorrow's video. Bless you with love.
Hey everyone, Donna Whittington, Peace, Love, and Bliss Coaching. So, doing a 2-part. And today we're going to talk about, the first part is going to be inhibitions. And I want to read something to you to see if this resonates. And this is from Dr. Ava Cadell. She is a loveologist and a mentor of mine. So, very excited to be able to bring some of her work into this. So, speaking on inhibitions, and one thing she talks about that we all have common inhibitions. And so one thing I want you to realize about inhibitions is that they are self-imposed restrictions on one's behavior, and they come from our subconscious mind. Okay? Self-imposed restrictions that we place on ourselves. We don't have to do that, but of course we tend to do that. So I'm going to continue to read. And our mind is predisposed to the way we were raised, so it's not surprising that many people have inhibitions based upon negative influences, repression, societal restraints on sexual behavior. For example, many women suffer from the good girl syndrome because they were taught that only bad girls do this or they do that, or they will do a striptease for their lover or masturbate. So these are the things that, especially our age group, we've kind of grown up with. Now, perhaps if you have children, I have children, late teens to their mid-20s, and I have taught them to be open and not to view sex as something that is taboo or that's embarrassing. So we have to dispel those same myths that we are now teaching our children. You know, that we probably wished that somebody took the time to explain sex to us in a different way than what we grew up with. And if that's not you, and if that's not your experience, yay, that's awesome. But a lot of folks have grown up with inhibitions around sexuality. So, and sex and different types of, things with sex, role playing, masturbation, oral sex, anal sex. So those are some of the things that inhibit us. And when I say us, I'm speaking generally. So again, if that is not you, that's fine. You don't have to take this on. But if that is something that you have a feeling of that it's embarrassing, or it's something that you need to work on or to get over so that you can move forward in your relationships, this is the perfect forum for this. You can always connect with me via email, peaceloveandblisscoaching@gmail.com. So some of the other things that she talks about is women are often raised with shame and guilt about their bodies, so they are inhibited about their size or the shape of their breast, the look and smell of their vaginas, losing control during orgasm, and of course asking for what they want in bed. Now, I am a strong proponent for women, and women being able to ask for what you want. That is so very, very, very important. If you are not in that space where you are comfortable asking for the things that please you, this is your time to practice. And if it's something that is just extremely uncomfortable, take a step backwards. Relax. Take in some deep breaths. And then reflect. Where does that come from? If it's something that you were told, when you were younger, or if it's an ex-husband or an ex-boyfriend or whatever, this is the time to clear out that energy so that you can move forward, whether you're in a relationship now or in a future relationship. It's important to clear out the gunk that keeps us stuck. Okay? Some of the things that she talks about for men, some men inhibitions, are just as unhealthy. For example, many men were taught not to show their feelings because it is a sign of weakness. Men are inhibited about the size of their penis because they've been taught that size matters. Some men think that women's vaginas should smell like spring flowers or autumn rain. And Men hate asking for directions, so why would they ever ask their lover what pleases them? So again, everything comes back to communication. So if these are some of the things that inhibit you in your relationship with your partner, this is where the communication comes in. And you got to be willing, you got to be ready to open up. And if it's embarrassing, ask your partner to go slow. Ask them that, to take that time with you that you need so that you can work through the things that you need to work through. And then you guys can work through things together. But if you don't ask, no one is going to know. And mind readers, most of us aren't very good at reading minds. I know I've never been good at reading my partner's mind, so it's so much easier just to go ahead and ask, talk, communicate, but ask for what you want. Talk about the things that you don't want. Talk about what feels good. Talk about what you would like to experience. Doesn't have to be right now, but sometime in the future. So I want to empower you to let go of some of your inhibitions and that inhibit you from being the partner that you would like to be and the partner that you would like to have. So being the partner that you would like to have, especially for those of you who are single, that starts with you. This is a great time for you to explore your body. Go to the bookstore, get some books. Feel free to send me an email. I'm happy to do personal sessions with you where we can discuss different items that have you bogged down, or if you need direction on how to ask or how to engage or how to bring up the subject of this or that with your partner. Let's talk about it. And let's get you to the place that you want to get to in your relationships. We're in your intimate relationships and in intimacy. So, Donna Whittington, Peace, Love, and Bliss Coaching. This is part 1 of inhibitions. And tomorrow we'll talk a little bit further about inhibitions. Hope you're having a fabulous day. Reach out to me, Peace, Love, and Bliss Coaching at gmail.com. Follow me on Facebook. I have the Love Connections page. Also, there is an Instagram page. And the Instagram page is Peace, Love, and Bliss. So I look forward to working with you, whether it's in this group or one-on-one. You can always contact me if you have more questions. Have a fabulous day.
Do you have barriers up? Barriers are usually unconscious. How do you know? Are your fight or flight responses in high gear? Do you react to what others say and do? Are you defending or reacting rather than creating? What if you could allow energy to move right through without having an effect upon you? Are you willing to be that potent? Right now, let's do it. Barriers down, barriers down, barriers down, through all lifetimes' dimensions. Barriers down. Remember, it's just energy. Allow it to flow, and you will glow. Blessings, namaste. Play with it.